It's 2:45. There's no one in the place except you and me, so stick 'em up, Joe. Oh, hi. I want to welcome you back to Undertaking Cinema. My name's William Malone. I'm a writer and director. I've been in the business for over 40 years. And I just wanted to talk to you about a few things, give you some tips or things that I think were important. Now, keep in mind who you're talking to, okay? So take it with a grain of salt. But these are some things that I've sort of thought about, and I wanted to share them with you. Um, to start with, now you're going to get some opportunities. Everyone gets a shot, I think. Really believe that. And if somebody asks you to do something, just say yes. Okay, not carry that through your entire career. Just say yes. And now I know there's going to be things you don't want to do. You know, some project you go, I don't want anything to do with that. But say yes. Let your agent deal with it, okay? And you can always be too busy or on some other project or something. But if you tell them the truth and say, no, I didn't like your project, you're going to wind up with a reputation as somebody who's difficult or hard to get along with. Another thing is know everyone's job as well as they do. And what I mean by this is know how sound department works, know how the lighting and grip department works, know the makeup, know wardrobe, know all their issues. And if you can, apprentice in each of those jobs so that when you become a director, you'll know exactly what they're saying when somebody says, oh, I need time to do this. Or if the sound guy says, hey, this take was no good because the sound was bad on this line or something like that. Know that that's going to cost you some ADR time or that, there's going to be performance issues down the road or something. It's very important that you know that. I see a lot of people, young people, who think that just directing, it just means you stand around and tell people what to do. It's not at all. What you see on the set is probably 1/10 of what a director's job is. And the director should be the first guy there in the morning and the last guy to leave. That's just the way it is. And even after you've left, you still have got to go look at dailies and see what you need to shoot and plan for the next day and so forth. Now, along those lines, surround yourself with people that you think are better than you are, people that you have great respect for, because it'll make your job so much easier. And somebody once said casting is 99% of directing or 90% of directing. And it's really true. Casting is really important. Get really good actors and cast well. Anyway, so that's my spiel for all of that. But I did want to tell you a story because there's some fun things about directing that people seldom talk about, which is sort of the peripheral stuff that goes on in directing. Now, I directed a show down in New Orleans called The Big Easy. And it was like one of my earlier shows that I did. And it was down in the French Quarter in New Orleans. And one of the things that happened, we were out on the street shooting, and we had a camera set up, and we were shooting some people across the road that were on a long lens and so forth. And so as we're filming, suddenly this girl walks in front of the cameras and flashes us her boobs. So that was pretty fun. But I think the best thing that happened is I was sitting one morning at the Café Du Monde, which is a little restaurant. If you've ever been to New Orleans, you know this place. And I was there with this big black guy named Houston. He was our locations manager. And as we're sitting there having coffee, this girl rides by on a bicycle, long blonde hair, beautiful. And I said something to Houston. I said, wow, she's really pretty. And he says, did you want to meet her? And I said, yeah, sure. So he sets me up to go meet her. And it turns out she was putting on a concert with a pianist, and she was the person who was doing this sort of emceeing and putting the concert on. And so we hooked up afterwards, and she was very nice, and we went and had dinner at a little Italian restaurant in the French Quarter. It was down at the end near the House of the Rising Sun. And we had a lovely little dinner, and she said, you want to come over to my place? thinking to myself, this is like a trick question. So I go over to her place, and it's right out a streetcar named Desire. I mean, she's like on the second floor balcony with the, rotting place, And by the way, everything looks like it's rotting there, and they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars keeping it looking like it's rotting. Anyway, so I go up there, and she opens the door, the French doors, and we walk in, and it's like wall to wall Alice in Wonderland. And she says, do you mind if I go put on something more comfortable? I said, sure. So I'm looking around, and she comes back in a few moments, and she's dressed in full Alice regalia, head to toe. And she's carrying a bunny suit with a big clock for me. Well, what do you think? Of course I did. Anyway, we'll see you next time on Undertaking Cinema. Bye-bye.